Hi, this is Kim Watson. Welcome to a morning outlook. What I'm doing first is looking at the euro dollar. So we're sitting currently on the dailies. We've sold off since yesterday. We're sitting into the daily 21 roundabouts here. Now, if on this 4 hourly candle we can close below that sort of level, it would certainly help my swing short. I'm still looking for the monthly pivot and the 21s, the daily 50, 34 sort of area as targets. It may want to go further, so we'll see. But still, right, as I say, trading this down towards that monthly pivot. Now, short term, where are we? Well, we've missed a daily pivot at the moment, and that was a bit of a concern because it could pop up back for that. Also, we tend to come back to price comes back to the 21 quite frequently. So again, it may be a partial target if nothing else. If it starts breaking the hourly 8, obviously being so close to the monthly pivot, I'd rather that knocked out the way now as soon as possible. Would be good. Okay, so that's where we're sitting now. So I remain bearish. I'm in a swing short anyway. It's taking its time, but it's breaking. If I bring back the 4 hourly for a moment, is the sort of a range it was sitting through, and it's started to break through that, and it's done that through this current session. So if we can say hold on to these this movement and the dollar can hold on to its gains, then perhaps we could be pushing further down this morning. However, as it's a movement through the Asian session, I'm never too shocked when we do get a rally. Okay, the pound dollar. Let's have a look at the picture here. Again, it's closing in on that monthly pivot. I sort of expected it may have been hit yesterday, never got hit. It's instead it took another bounce off that daily 50, but the monthly pivot not far below. And again, we could see this selling off. There's been a few surveys out which may give the markets the heebie-jeebies on the pound today, which could see that monthly pivot taken out plus some. Yep, just looking at 4 hourly, not quite diverging yet. We haven't gone down to the lows yet, so it may diverge as it gets down towards that pivot there. May find a bit of support and a bit of a bounce, but it's been slow over the last couple of days at least, and you see the relatively range bound, pretty choppy. It's an area of, I said on the weekly update that we're sort of on this sort of knife edge at the moment with some of these currencies, a decision whether we're going to see some dollar strength coming back or whether we're going to see the dollar soften a little bit and the European currencies or most of the other currencies make some gains. But at the moment, it suggests that they may be weakening. Anyway, certainly a touch and maybe a break of that monthly pivot would confirm that more. Dollar yen. Well, the dollar yen's been the oddity here. It's actually gained more yesterday. The yen gained against the dollar, should I say, yesterday. Do still have the weekly pivots untouched, monthly pivots as potential targets, but the more we move away, the less likely we have of getting back to that monthly at least. At the moment, it's well, not really giving me too much of a clue on what I'm looking at here. It's just nope, it's not helping either. It's just sort of the strength seems mainly to the downside here. There's no divergences on the dailies or anything here that I can see. So, well, it may yet still push up there, but there's a sort of a line I was looking at. You just draw it on. Draw on here across these lows. There's this range here that I've been sort of looking at, and just to see if it could pull back out. But yesterday it closed below that, which has sort of spoilt it. Now we may find some resistance as we're coming back into these lows here. Certainly a possibility of finding a bit of resistance. If we can break that, well, maybe it could be back for the 4 hourly 21. It seems obviously the 4 hourly 8 seems to have been containing it to now up until now, and it may do again. Looking at the hourlies here, well, we're through on the daily pivot Close up here. Could see us running back up towards the R1. We haven't, as I say, if it does start, we see some dollar strength coming through the markets across the board. This could be the answer. It closes below this pivot. I am sort of just wary, and in fact, I'll be looking to see if it would make some further gains to the downside, but it's quite a way off before I'd be interested. Okay, looking at the Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar still consolidating in this upper range here, sitting on the weekly pivot, starting well. If it there's a trend line, well, actually it's doing on a 60-minute. You can see the trend line I'm going to draw is across these lows here, somewhere in that range. But if we start seeing a break of that level there, that weekly pivot, then it could get a bit more bearish. But it's up until now been holding up relatively well. And it's gained again through its own session there, but a break of that weekly pivot, as I said, and those prior lows probably would have to wait until it ran through its S1 a little bit there. So it takes away some of the targets I'd normally be looking for. But there's the possibility it come back to last Friday's lows and beyond. And finally, the Canadian dollar running back towards its monthly pivot. It's a bit like the pound in a sense in terms of its proximity, pretty close. That looks like a reasonable odds on this morning, but just looking at it's just running into the 60-minute 500. However, that may just be broken shortly. Now, let's just have a quick look at what's oil doing, because oil's been favourable. Now if oil starts sliding, which it has here, it's already come off at least $1. That'll not hinder the upside progress at all. In fact, it will help the upside progress. So there is the potential there for further upside on the Canadian dollar. I need to really come back to the 4-hourly to sort of look at the targets, where, as I said, there's the pivot. It's the prior highs from way back, and then really, and from a 4-hourly picture, I'd be looking at that 200, 50 and 34 all nestled together there. So certainly a potential of a bit of a trend change here. I think we've already seen a bit of a trend change if we've been drawing the lines down on dailies here. So certainly more potential upside. Okay, that's pretty much it for me, apart from what we got coming out today. So, as I say, Tuesday, we've already had the Australian data come out at 3:30. Side of that, there's not anything particularly significant today. There's lots of little bits that might come out, which may cause a little bit of volatility, but it's pretty narrow gauge stuff in terms of expectation. My expectation theory is pretty slim for all of these moves, so nothing there particularly significant. Okay, so have a great day. I'll be back in the morning. Bye for now.